Today we are going to discuss about people-centered design evoking right problem with you. So in previous life we saw about what is design thinking, what are the five phases of design thinking. In continuation with today the topic, today we are going to learn about one of the most essential aspects of design thinking, that is people-centered design. Let us see in detail. So people-centered design is how it helps us to identify and evoke a right person before jumping into a solution. Many times the team design excellent products that fails in a real world. So it is because why? Because they have solved a wrong problem. So our goal is to learn to think with the people, not just for them. So let us see what is people-centered design. So people-centered design is a practice where design focus on specific people needs, not an assumption or trends. So it is a refined form of human-centered design, which means we design with an empathy and a deep understanding. For example, when designing an app for an elderly user, what we have to assume. So we should not assume that what they needed. Instead of what, we should live among with them, observe their habits, and also understand their struggles with the technology. There is a famous quote, is something that when you design, you have to understand what capabilities are the people you are designing for. So the people-centered design begins with an immersive observation and collaboration. Next, let us see about what are the key principles of people-centered design. There are few principles of people-centered design. Is something that you have to spend a time in a location, which means designers should observe the real problems of the people in a real world environment, and that is where a real insight come from. And next thing is collaborative with local populations. So local population is something that people who are living with the problem every day often have a valuable ideas. And third thing is that you have to see everything as a system, which means the problems are interconnected, whether socially or economically and also technologically. And the next thing is that co-designs with the users, which means let people participate in creating the solutions, not just in testing it. Okay. And the last thing is that study of existing solution, which means understand what user needs have already tried on their own, and also about their success or failure, because it reflects their needs and creativity. When these steps are followed, and the solution becomes a more relevant and sustainable, and also be accepted by the communities. So next, let us see about how to apply people-centric design. So which means we have to spend years in a location and collaborate closely with the local population, and also see how everything is done on a system and co-design with your populations. So next, this is a thinking mindset of the human-centered design. So people-centered design also needs a right mindset. Some of the key designs thinking of mindset include empathy, which means you have to understand the user feelings and context. And next is about the collaboration, is work across disciplines and culture. And next one is curiosity. So you have to keep on asking why to uncover a deep insight. And the last thing is about experimentation, that is your prototype and test ideas quickly. So these mindset ensures that our designs remains grounded in the people reality. Next, let us go to activity session. Activity section is something that are crazy it takes. This means it's a fast paced ideation exercise where you can sketch your 8 ideas in 8 minutes. It can be a drawing or any diverse ideas rapidly, and this helps teams move on fast, and obviously the ideas and their creativity. Next, let us see about evoking the right problem. So evoking the right problem, nowadays students here, an important lesson is even the best design fails if we solve in a wrong problems. So you have to think a product like a Google Class or a banana slicer. They solved something, but not something meaningful. Designers focused on the efficiency, doing things well, instead of effectiveness, doing the right thing well. So Albert Einstein once said that if I had an hour to solve a problem, I have spent 55 minutes of thinking about the problem and 5 minutes of thinking about the solutions. So this reminds that being an effective means understanding the problem space first, and also studying the what people truly needs and before jumping into the solution. So next, let us see about uh, what is about a problem to solution. So here, being effective requires a deeply understanding of problems we're attempting to solve, and just refer to the understanding the problem space and stand contrast to the solution space where we design and implement solutions to solve the problems. So this is a working of right solution is something desirable and feasible and valuable. These three dimensions of a good solution. Next, let us see about how it starts from a problem to solution. So what makes a good solution? It means that it have three essential dimension. One is desirable. Desirable is something that does it meant people real needs and emotions, and we are viable, that is something that can it is sustained economically or socially, and feasible is something that it is technically or practically possible. So balancing these three helps us to ensure our design in a creative and it's a meaningful way and also successful. And let us go to the assessment part. So what is the main idea behind people-centered design is you have to focus on the specific needs and context of people. And next is, why should designers spend years in locating where they are designing solution? It is about to discover the true nature of the problem. What is the principle of people-centered to understand is focus on technological solutions, and what ethically considerable it is important in people-centered design is you have to make sure and to respect the dignity and contribution of the people. And also, why is co-design with local populations important in people-centered design is to make sure it is more acceptable and sustainable. I hope you understand about this session very well, and you have a mind map of today's topic, so that by viewing this you can have a clear idea about it. And so once again I recollect it. So people-centered design also requires ethical awareness. We must respect the dignity and contribution of the people where we work with, and especially when designing a vulnerable or rural communities. And co-design ensures the final solution which is acceptable and sustainable and inclusive. So to conclude, people-centered design reminds us an innovative begin with empathy. When we understand the people realities and their struggles and the hopes and creativity, we can design a product or a system that truly makes a difference. So always remember, good designs begin with not only the ideas but with understanding the people. I hope you all enjoy this session. If you have any doubts, feel free to contact me. Thank you.